Alright guys, finally back with another video. I know it's been a while. I think the last time I saw you guys was with the Lexus ES350, which has now sold. That sold very fast, as Lexus usually do. But today I wanted to bring you something else. Now, normally on Prickly Pear Auto Club's YouTube channel, we do feature Ferraris, Porsches, BMWs, Mercedes-Benz, or quirky stuff like, you know, the Mercedes-Benz V230 that's on our channel, the Honda Acti, stuff like that. But what about this? A 2019 Hyundai Kona SE all-wheel drive. But before we get into it, let me just thank you guys for tuning in. If you are a return viewer, thank you so much for coming back. If this is your first time with us, thank you so much for tuning in for the first time. If it is your first time, consider subscribing so you can come back and see the other cool cars that we will bring to you in the future. We're always posting cool cars, interesting cars, and we'd love to have you back. So thanks for tuning in, guys. But anyway, 2019 Hyundai Kona SE all-wheel drive is what we're dealing with here. You know, what is this thing? That was my first question. This is already sold. Customers picking it up today, but they wanted one of these. And at first I was like, you know, I had heard of it. I knew the Hyundai Kona, of course. But I was like, what is it exactly? Well, Hyundai classifies it as an SUV. You know, it's like a crossover SUV, a CUV as some people call them. It's a compact SUV. It's not quite a subcompact because there's stuff even smaller than this that, you know, claims to be an SUV. But, you know, this is intriguing because I guess it is an SUV. You know, it's got some decent ground clearance. It's got all-wheel drive. This will do a lot of the things that a full-size SUV will do, but just in a compact form. And especially if you're on a budget, this can be very practical and useful for you at a very low price. This is a 2019. It has 41,000 and some change miles. And yeah, I mean, it's intriguing, and that's why I wanted to include it on the video. You know, I also like to deal with quirky stuff and post quirky stuff, and this certainly is quirky. Let's take a look inside. 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, 147 or 140 horsepower, I think, 138 torque, something like that. But yeah, here you go. We'll dive into all the features and stuff. Oh, and by the way, we do take pride in your vehicle. But anyway, here you go. Cool interior. You know, it's almost like a, you know what it reminds me of actually is the 1970s, 1980s Porsche checkered plaid kind of thing interior. It's kind of got that vibe going on. The ergonomics of this car are very good. And I've been driving it around for the past few days, getting it ready for the customer, all types of different things that we got to do to get the car ready. And my takeaway of the interior is it's quite comfy. This is a very comfortable car, especially these seats. I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, wow, these are really comfy seats. This is the seating position that I've been driving in. And as you can see, it's not horrible legroom. I mean, and I'm 5'11"-ish. And if I had someone sitting behind me, I think they'd be quite comfortable. That is not a horrible amount of legroom. I need to raise that headrest. I mean, I can't stand it when a headrest, you know, when one's high and one's low. It just drives me crazy. So I'm going to pull that thing up here in just a bit. Let's take a look at the back here. I mean, decent little cargo room, I'm telling you. And this is neat too, this mat here. One, it even gives you the its load capacity, which is 130 pounds. I mean, you know, what do you want? It's a simple little CUV. But if you take this off and flip it around, now you have a rubberized version. Kona. Isn't that cool? I like that. Let's get that back in there. This privacy, goodness gracious, struggling here, of course, during the video. This privacy rear parcel shelf also can detach from here. That way it can stay down when you open up the lift gate here. But you've even got tie down hooks, 4 of them. That is not bad. 60/40 split rear seat. And look at that. Spare tire with a toolkit. Not bad. All right, let's dive in over here, because I think this is where Hyundais really shine. Oh. So, let me zoom out. Like I said, I think this is where Hyundais really shine. You know, Hyundai is an economy car. I think they build cars for people who don't want to spend a lot of money on a car. You know, we kind of all know that. But the cool thing that they do is they include a lot of great interior features at their prices. For example, this car has lane departure warning, and I believe lane keep assist. I haven't quite tested that out. But I think on the options sheet that I have, it is lane keep assist. Of course, you get traction control, cruise control, steering wheel mounted buttons, voice control, okay, Bluetooth audio and Bluetooth streaming. You get an auxiliary input, a USB input, 12 volt, 180 watt. Oops, I'm sorry. And another USB right there. So you get 2 of them. I guess this is a fast charge USB because it has a battery on it. Yeah. So that's your, let me zoom in for that. There's your fast charge USB, aux, regular USB, and a 12 volt, 180 watt right there. How about that? Nice little shelf down here. Air conditioning, of course. Get your glove box there. The other feature that this car has is frontal collision warning, and I believe, similar to the lane keep assist, I believe this has frontal collision avoidance. So, like, what other car can you get that in for this price? You also get a touchscreen up here. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I mean, it's fantastic. You don't get these kinds of features, let's say, even in a base model, Audi or BMW or whatever, especially of this year. This is a 2019. If you're getting the base model of those cars, you're not going to get this kind of stuff, I don't think. Let's go for a spin. And again, like I said, all-wheel drive. It even has a lock button there. Looks like the center diff lock button has an economy and sport mode and downhill descent. Like, what the heck? How do you get these features in any other car for this price? So let's go for a quick spin. I'm going to zoom out. 41,176 miles. You get all sorts of good information here. Zoom right there. Average. 1,000 miles. 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 1,0 Fuel economy of 26.6 miles per gallon, not bad at all. Apparently you can do voice memos here, which is pretty neat. But yeah, I mean, some great features here. Let's go for a spin. I'll tell you what, I had a hell of a time finding a place to film this video. Today's November 1st, it's a Saturday, and it's 4:30 p.m. I was gonna say 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. And like over at the dealership, our neighbors are working, they've got a forklift going, they're beeping. And this other place where I like to film videos, they were open today for like the very first time ever on a Saturday. And so their parking lot was full. I couldn't film there. It's like, what the hell? I guess like November 1st is just, you know, National Go to Work on Saturday Day. Anyway, back to the car. So, I mean, you know, it drives like a Hyundai. Simple. You know, a lot of us have probably driven Hyundais as rental cars and stuff. What can you say about it? It's a simple vehicle. It's designed for transportation. It's designed for a commute. It gets you where you want to go. And like I said, it gets you there with some really nice features. I am going to turn around though, because I know that this red light up here just takes forever. Oh, it's actually green though. So yeah, I mean, these Hyundais are actually a really good bang for the buck when you consider the features that you're getting. All-wheel drive. Where else are you going to get that for this price? And again, man, the ergonomics just very, very comfy. Great little car. Always a red light. Goodness gracious. You know, it's peppy. It's zippy. This is a great car for a first-time driver. This is a great car for even an elderly person who just wants a simple, reliable transportation. This is a great car for, parents with grown kids and they don't need the big giant SUV anymore. That's typically the kind of stuff we film. But you got to give love to the normal stuff too sometimes. I like it. Well, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Always glad to have you guys back. Stay tuned. I will be back with another video fairly soon, and I'm telling you, with something really special, something very cool. No kidding. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you are, thank you. And I will see you guys relatively soon in the next video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.